And the women start the competition now. This is the first rotation for the women's event. ASU will be on vault, Stanford on bars, Utah State will be on beam. Now we're going over to the vaulting competition. Tracy Butler. She competes for Arizona State. She's a junior out of Worthington, Ohio. And Tracy's been a long-time strong competitor, Kathy.
Certainly has. Prior to competing at Arizona State, she was a member of the national team, U.S. national team, from 83 to 86, finished 10th at the 84 Olympic trials, and actually won a bronze medal at the 83 Pan American Games on balance beam. Oh, trouble on a Tsukahara. She was warming up a laid-out Tsukahara. She had trouble on the pre-flight. I don't know exactly what the problem was. Maybe the setting of the board. Something wasn't right.
She's getting some advice from her coach, John Speeney, head coach here at ASU. Let's see what happened, Kathy.
Right here's where the problem was. The pre-flight, as she made contact with the horse, she was in too close. The arms bent, and she basically had to just bail out of this vault and just get her feet around. What she was trying to do was a laid-out Tsukahara. She should have kept the body straight, but there's no way she had enough push off the horse to do that. So she did the smart thing and pulled it around to her feet.
Now, of course, in women's gymnastics, they have an opportunity to do 2 vaults, men's team competition. They just get 1. So she'll have an opportunity to make some correction here, Kathy.
Yes, and of course, the best score counts. So as long as she can pull the second vault off, she doesn't have to worry about the first one at all. Much better balls. Had to pike down a little bit. That'll be a slight deduction, but what a relief. As you can see, the pre-flight was much better. She got push off the horse, lifted with the chest, and the deduction will be piking down. She should have tried to stay laid out all the way through the somersaults. Again, that vault was worth a 9.7, so that's the starting value that the judges will start with.
And while we wait for her score, we'll go over to gymnastics competition. Michelle Cullivan from Arizona State. She got a 9.25 on this vault, Kathy.
She performed a handspring front tuck, little low on the landing, but managed to pull it out.
So the ASU team off to a strong start on perhaps one of their better events, vaulting. Now we're going to go back over to the men's competition. We're going to go away from them. Let's get back to the women's competition over on Arizona State.
This is Stephanie Klein. She's a freshman.
Her first vault score was an 8.85. This is her second vault.
A handspring front tuck, little low on the landing, but just that one step forward. That should definitely improve. That vault is worth a 9.9.
She showed pretty good height, and Kathy, she was showing a great deal of distance past the horse, and of course that's something that the judges are looking for. Now we're going over to balance beam. This is Julie Ryan from Utah State. Utah State, one of the favorites in this team competition here.
And if pommel horse can be the nemesis for some of the men in the competition, balance beam is probably the most difficult event to compete on.
Stephanie Klein from Arizona State on her vault got a 9.5.
There's so little margin for error on this event. Balance beam, only 4 inches wide, 4 feet off the ground. And the judges are looking for a number of things. Series, acrobatic series, combining dance and acrobatics as well. Jump full turn, one of the more difficult dance elements performed on the balance beam.
That move looks crazy. A lot of the backflips, it seems like they're able to see the beam, but that full turn is very difficult.
A lot of the gymnasts are doing it now because they get a 1/10 of a point bonus for it. From the full dismount. And by bonus, I mean all the routines are worth a 9.6 if they have the basic difficulty requirements. In order to score from a 10.0, they have to earn bonus points for the more difficult skills or original skills.
Let's take a look at that dismount one more time.
She actually takes off 2 feet. It's a punch front with a full twist.
And we continue on the balance beam with Utah State. We're ready to see Barb Zahl, who's one of our favorites in this competition, not only to help her team Utah State, but also as an all-around performer. She's one of their leaders.
Good job, Bart.
Utah State off on a very difficult event, opening up on balance beam. Arizona State certainly has a little bit of an advantage because they opened up on vault, Kathy.
I think a lot of people, when they start on balance beam, they make it an advantage. They figure if they can get it over with, hit, then it puts pressure on the rest of the teams coming to balance beam.
Did you like to start on beam, or would you rather finish?
I actually like starting on balance beam, getting it out of the way.
So the score on beam for Julie Ryan of Utah State was a 9.5, a terrific score for that beam routine. This is Barb Zahl.
This is their top all-around performer. Oh, no. Just a jump to a handstand mount, overbalanced. And of course, that's a 5/10 of a point deduction for the fall.
Looked like a break in concentration. That was an unusual mistake at that point.
This is a high-pressure event, particularly as you progress through the lineup. There's more and more pressure for each girl to hit. Back handspring, layout, step out. Another jump full turn, very risky move. That handspring half turn, oh no, and another fall. As we saw in the men's competition on high bar, it is very critical. Every 1/10 of a point counts, because when you can only drop one score, that next lowest score counts.
The fall, of course, is a 5/10 of a point deduction. She's had 2, so it's really going to hurt their team score.
Round off double twist. 1 step on the landing, but of course the major deductions were the 2 falls. That's 1 full point off.
And a very disappointing opening performance for one of our favorites here, Barb Zahl. The other scores for Utah State, 9-1, 9-1-5, 9-4, 9-2-5, and a 9-5 for Julie Ryan. So they needed a good score here.
And as you said, Bart, this was probably a concentration error.
The dismount was good, though, Kathy.
It was very good. It was one of the more difficult dismounts done in collegiate gymnastics. In fact, she surprised me. It looked like she was just going for a full, but she pulled that double around.
And I remember you sticking that dismount in the 1984 Olympics to earn your medal on the balance beam, Kathy. That's one of your favorites.
Many moons ago, and a land far, far from here.
Well, we'll keep you up to date on the scores, and we'll bring you her score when we come back. This is a look at Scotty Keswick from Arizona State has a strong performance, has first. Utah State is in second, Stanford, and then Cal State Fullerton in fourth. ASU is now over at the uneven bars. They had a strong performance on vault, and Tracy Butler will be the next performer here on bars.
And they're off to a good start on the uneven bars. Christine Belotti just did a very nice bar routine. We're awaiting that score right now.
Hear the music in the background. Once again, there's a floor routine going on. In fact, there's 2 floor routines going on. This is highly unusual to have men's floor and women's floor running side by side, 2 completely separate floor mats. So it's a wild night of gymnastics here at Arizona State. Here's Tracy Butler.
She's a junior, and this is the first time she's competed in the all-around since she's been at Arizona State. Nice full pirouette on the high bar. Giant swing right to a layout full twist. short, she used to do a reverse hecht or a big release move in the middle. So it'll be interesting to see if she has enough parts, enough difficulty in the routine. But with the rules that the collegiate gymnasts use, it's much easier to get their bonus points. They're not as strict. Taking a look at the dismount here, it's a layout with a full twist. Nice height and distance from the bar. And a good landing.
ASU coach John Speeney quite pleased with his team. They have 5 freshmen, so he feels they have a terrific amount of potential. Also, Kathy, your Olympic teammate, Michelle Dussert, is one of the assistant coaches here at ASU.
And also the meet director of this competition.
And we're going to go over to the still rings to check in on Licurga Diaz-Sante. 9.45 was the score for Tracy Butler on the uneven bars. Let's go to Diaz-Sante now. Again, back over to Arizona State, getting ready to perform on the uneven bars. We saw Tracy Butler earlier. This is Michelle Cullivan. She's expected to be one of the leaders of this ASU team.
Arizona State has an 8.85 that they're looking to drop. The rest of the scores are between 9.2 and 9.45. So they really need some big scores right here to maintain the lead.
This is the best event of Michelle, and certainly her favorite.
And of course, it has to help competing with a home crowd advantage. Nice hop to handstand, front giant. Gymnast is required to work both bars to move smoothly, one from the other. And a front tuck dismount, one step on the landing, but a pretty good routine.
You talked about the team camaraderie and the team pride. There's certainly a great deal of that here.
This is her dismount. It's a toe-on, front dismount. Very difficult to land. It's a blind landing, meaning you can't see the ground until it comes up and hits you.
And now we'll check back with Utah State. The Aggies are over on floor exercise. This is Barb Zahl. We saw her have plenty of trouble in balance beam. Michelle Cullivan got a 9.6 for her bar routine. ASU doing very well on bars. This is Utah State on floor. Barb Zahl.
This is probably the favorite event in collegiate gymnastics. With the music, gymnasts can really show their style and communicate with the audience. She opens with a pike double back. So far here on the floor exercise. They do have an 8.9 though. I'm sure they'd like to drop that one. The rest of the scores are between 9.2 and 9.6. Middle tumbling pass, triple twist. A little short on the twist though, but not too bad. Quite a bit of difficulty in this routine. Two tumbling passes. The second one being a triple twist, a little bit short on the rotation. But I think she's pretty pleased with it.
Utah State having a terrific performance in floor exercise after having some consistency problems on the balance beam. Barb Zahl came back from a very low score on beam, and she'll get quite a good score for that, Kathy.
Here's that second pass I was talking about. It's a triple twist, but you'll see she has a little trouble getting it all the way around. 1, 2, here's the third one.
We have it all.
Almost sneaks it around.
All right.
Her final pass was not as difficult as her first and second, but definitely enough to have the routine score from a 10.0.
And the score for Barb Zahl, 9.6, so they have a pair of 9.6 on floor exercise, the other coming from Natalie Cannon. And this is going to be Julie Ryan, who will be next up for Utah State. We saw her score 9.5 on the balance beam.
She holds the school record of 9.85 on the floor exercise. She consistently scores high on this event.
Julie was the first Utah State gymnast to score over 38 points in the all-around, a milestone in women's gymnastics.
It's a layout front somersault with a full twist.
Interesting note about Julie, she was the first NCAA gymnast to go on a 2-year mission after her junior year. She came back and is competing very strongly.
Full twist, punch front somersault. Very nice combination. One of the special requirements on the floor exercise, combining dance and acrobatics. Change of rhythm, and finishes with a full twist. Utah State doesn't have the most difficulty on this event in terms of big skills like the double backs and the double layouts, but they do interesting passes, and they get their difficulty in their dance element.
That's a good point, Kathy. Maybe these routines perhaps aren't the most difficult, but they're smartly choreographed because they'll score well, won't they?
Most certainly will.
This is an unusual first pass.
She does a front layout with a full twist right into another front somersault. Here's her second tumbling run. She does a full twist. Now watch this. Changes direction, does a front tuck, and a very nice landing. And as I said, they're not the most difficult tumbling passes, particularly this one. She just ends with a layout full twist. But look at the form. Doesn't give away any deductions.
Well, the judges liked it. It was a 9.5 to go to with a pair of 9.6s, so Utah State having a great performance in floor exercise. We'll be back to ASU. Welcome back to Arizona State University. There's been a couple of protests and 2 scores have been changed. Kristen Belotti got a 9.25 instead of a 9.2 on bars, and Tracy Butler, her score was raised to a 9.55 from a 9.45. So after 2 rotations, Arizona State holds a ½ point lead over Utah State. Fullerton's 3rd and Stanford's in 4th. In the men's state, Barb Zahl getting ready to vault. We saw her have trouble on beam and have a strong performance in floor, and this is a good opportunity for Utah State. Arizona State women are competing on the perilous beam. Utah State is on a strong and a high-scoring event vault.
They certainly are. They started off very strong with a layout Tsukahara done by Natalie Cannon. In fact, they're awaiting that score right now. But it is an opportunity. Arizona State is only 0.5 of a point ahead. That is 1 fall difference.
Good point. 1 fall, and the meet is tied up. Here's Barb Zahl.
Full twist on, full twist off. Oh no, that's a fall. 0.5 of a point off. But remember, in women's gymnastics, they perform 2 vaults. The best of the 2 counts. So she's got another shot at this.
Let's see if we can see what happens. This is a full on and a full off, Kat.
It looked fine in the pre-flight. She got the full twist all the way around. She's a little off-center, legs are crossed, and see how she lands a little off-kilter. That's why she falls to one side.
That's a difficult vault to really square up the full on and the full off. This is Utah State.
And by the way, Barb Zahl had a much more successful second vault.
We'll bring her score to you when we get that. Brenda Scholl is getting ready to go on vault for Utah State.
Brenda Scholl has been one of their more outstanding gymnasts so far this year.
And Utah State's strong performance here really shouldn't be a surprise. As we mentioned at the top of the show, they come into this competition with the highest average team score of the 4 women's teams that are competing here tonight. Quite a consistent team.
She'll be performing a layout Sukahara worth a 9.7 for the laid out position. Very nicely done. Good landing.
Boy, she showed good tight body position. Strong landing, Kathy.
Now the judges have a better view actually directly from the side. They can see if she maintained that complete laid out position. From here it looks like she did. And as you said, a very nice position in the air. And the all-important landing. Right here you can see she leads with her chest to open up that laid out position and drops it in for a good landing.
Licurgo Diaz-Sande from the Arizona State men's team on his vault got a 9.3. Barb Zahl, her 2 vaults were 8.8 and a 9.15 for her second vault. So, as you mentioned, Kathy, the 9.15 will count towards the team score. And the first score for Brenda Scholl, her first vault at 9.35. She's going to try and do a little bit better on her second vault. Do you think she can do any better? That was quite well done.
Well, she's actually going to do a different vault. She's flashed a number for a handspring front tuck, which is worth a 9.9. So yes, she can improve on the score. It's a higher difficulty value for this vault.
And a completely different style of vaulting. Forward vaulting.
And I think it's a new vault for her. That's why the spotter was standing in there. But what better time to try it? She already had a good vault, a good score. So she was able to try something a little different.
Good point, Kathy. She had a 9.35 in the bag already.
Where the problem was is she's short, meaning on this side of the horse, got into the tuck a little too soon. Therefore, she was short on the rotation. Again, see the same problems here. Just really cuts off the push. She needed to push a little longer and drive the heels and then get into the tuck.
And we'll be back with the score for Brenda Scholl when we come back to Arizona State in the Southwest Cup Gymnastics. Now let's keep you up to date what's going on around the rest of the gym. This is Stacy Harris from Cal State Fullerton, and they're not out of the running. They're holding 3rd place right now in the women's team event.
And I spoke with the coach, and they're really hurting in terms of injury this year. But Stacy is very good on this event. Look at the straight lines, nice swing. Swing, dismount, tuck double back. You'll see right there one of the assistant coaches at Fullerton, Lucy Weiner, an alternate for the 1984 U.S. Olympic team. Very nice routine. To show you exactly how weak Fullerton is right now, only 5 competitors are lined up for the uneven bars.
And of course, they have to count all 5 of those scores. This routine had some good intricate transitions.
And a very nice high dismount.
The score, by the way, for Cheney Humphrey on the rings for UCLA was a 9.8. That's the highest score we've seen today in either the men or the women's competition. So UCLA doing quite well over on the still rings in the men's competition. After 2 rotations, Utah State was in 3rd, about a half a point behind 2nd. 9.6 is the score for Stacy Harris, Cal State Fullerton. A strong score, and Fullerton not out of the running. We'll be back with more gymnastics.
We went to the
Arizona State University, the women's team competition is heating up. Utah State, this is Michelle Bugby. She's their final vaulter. They've done well so far here on vault.
She's performing a layout Sukahara with a 9.7. Very nicely done. A slight pike in that laid out position. And again, it's worth a 9.7. Good pre-flight, slight leg separation there. And you can see she has to pike down, so that will be a slight deduction.
Now over to balance beam, Arizona State competing. This is one of the favorites, Michelle Cullivan. She's had a good day so far, and ASU will need a strong performance here because Utah State has been very good on the vault.
And I'm sure they knew going to balance beam that Utah State was right on their heels. And balance beam is a pressure event anyways. Oh, a very nice knee spin. Switch leg leap right to a pike jump. Oh, so back handspring layout, step out, way off to the side. And of course, that's 5/10 of a point deduction. And we've got a very close team competition.
Kathy, you mentioned just moments ago that a half a point separates ASU from Utah State. There's a half a point right there.
Very difficult jump full turn. You're right, Bart. And it depends on if they have to count a routine with a break.
Michelle Cullivan, senior out of San Diego, California. Here's her dismount. I'm sorry. More difficulty. This routine is packed with difficulty, Kathy.
Unfortunately, she has several little balance breaks that do add up. And of course, the big one, the fall.
Here comes the dismount.
Cartwheel double twist, very nicely done. What a shame, because as you said, a lot of difficulty packed into that routine. It was well choreographed. Their beam coach, Lisa Zeiss, was a former national champion on this event at the NCAAs. This was really pretty, a nice double twist, and look at the landing.
So we'll wait for the score for Michelle Cullivan. Michelle Bugby from Utah State, we saw her first vault. That scored a 9.3 moments ago. This is what happened in her second vault. She attempted a full twisting Sukahara.
Oh, tucked on, little too much on the pre-flight, and of course the fall.
So her first score, 9.3, will be what counts. Then 8.95 was the score for the second vault. Of course, that will be dropped. They take the best of the two vaults. So Utah State quite consistent. All their scores ranging from 9.0 to 9.45 on their vaults. The 9.0 will drop out, so their bottom score is only a 9.15. 8.95 is the score on balance beam for Michelle Cullivan. That 5/10 of a point fall really cost him there, Kathy.
This is Tracy Butler, and she is superb on this event. She won a bronze medal in 1983 at the Pan American Games for the United States. Opens up with a strength move, strength and balance, called a plunge. And look at this, pirouettes on the hands. She does that so well.
The 5 scores to this point for ASU.
Very difficult pass, done so well. A round off layout, step out. She's done that for years.
8.95 was the low score so far. The scores range from 9.1 to 9.75. This is their best event.
And this routine right here is critical. They want to drop that low score because Utah State scored very well on the vault. And if any coach that wants someone in this pressure situation, this is the person you'd want. She rarely falls on this event. Round off double twist. Very nice routine and under a lot of pressure.
That's going to score quite well. And Kathy, this team is so strong on balance beam. They make up ground against a lot of teams. And usually balance beam is where you just hope not to fall too far behind.
Here's that beautiful pass. Round up layout, step out. Just slight legged breaks, which will be hardly a deduction at all. We're looking at it in slow motion. The judges see it in regular speed, and it's hard to detect those. And the dismount is a layout with a double twist and a good landing.
And we'll be back with more of the Southwest Cup Gymnastics competition and the score for Tracy Butler when we come back to Arizona State University. After 3 rotations, Arizona State holds the lead over Utah State by exactly 1 point.
And Bart, a 1-point lead. That's a pretty substantial lead, and most impressively, they gained it on the balance beam.
Back at the Southwest Cup, 9-3-5 was the score on parallel bars for Licurgo Diaz-Sandi. Now we're going over to the women's competition. Barb Zahl from Utah State getting ready to perform with the bars.
Nice back up rise, giant swing. She is very tall for a gymnast, but moves quite well. It's a nice release move, a front somersault regrasp. Giant swing to a tuck, double back dismount, 1 step on the landing. Very good routine. Very nice release move in the middle of the routine. Quite a bit of height and distance from the bar. Perfect regrasp. Just the dismount, nice tuck, double back. Slight deduction here for that step.
And next on the uneven bars for Utah State, this will be Brenda Scholl. We saw her perform earlier in the ball. Strong competitor. She's done quite well today. 9-4-5 was the score for Barb Zahl, so they're doing quite well in bars as well.
Most of these teams' ambition is to qualify for nationals in April. They're in mid-season right now. The way they go about qualifying, it's kind of an interesting procedure. They can count 2 away meets, 2 home meets, 1 of either away or home meet, and then most importantly, the regional score. So every meet is very important.
Oh, that was a pretty tricky transition.
Very nice. Almost overshot the handstand, but that's what the judges are looking for. Everything right to handstand. Tuck double back and a good landing.
Kathy, she had some form breaks, but there was a lot of difficulty in that routine.
I'm actually very impressed with this team. This is a team that has not qualified for nationals. Arizona State just missed qualifying for nationals. The first time in a long time they didn't go. So these teams are really working hard to try and earn that berth at the NCAAs. There's, as you said, the slight form deductions throughout, but they were very, very slight, but they do add up.
And once again, the camaraderie among the teammates and tremendous team spirit.
That really is the fun part, as we said. These teams pulling together and having a great time doing it.
9.55. She's got to be happy with that. Now let's rejoin the score. Now we're going back over to the women's competition, Arizona State. Christine Belotti. She's on the floor.
There's been a lot of excitement over at the floor exercise. Arizona State cheering on all these girls. They're all doing very well so far. A full twisting double back. Very difficult, particularly at the collegiate level. Arizona State really has the most difficulty in their routines in this competition. And a double back, and just manages to stay
Kind of funny on the sidelines to see her teammates dancing along and encouraging her through her performance.
That's something we wouldn't have seen in the competitions we competed in, and what makes collegiate gymnastics so much fun.
Yeah, you rarely see a college girl gymnast or woman gymnast pick classical music. They usually find some rockin' music to get the team and the audience behind them.
And a double twist. Very nice routine in terms of difficulty. And they are definitely pumped now. They're turning out great floor routines.
The score, by the way, on parallel bars for Jody Newman and the Arizona State men's team was a 9.45. Let's take a look at some of her tumbling.
This was a full twisting double back. Right here's a full twist on the first somersault, pulls that second one right around. Oh no, stepped out of bounds. That'll be a 1/10 of a point, but a very difficult pass. And her second pass, she almost went out of bounds again on a pike double back, pulls it around, whoa, and just doesn't put that heel down.
And her last run.
And she finished with a double twist. Again, probably the most difficult routine done on the women's side.
And the women's competition continues here at Arizona State. We'll be back with the final performances in the floor exercise for ASU. The Southwest Cup, 9.65 was the score for Kristen Belotti on floor exercise for ASU. They're really pouring on in the last half of this meet. Next up, this is Michelle Cullivan.
This is a very strong event for Arizona State. Good choreography. Of course, they have two of the best as assistant coaches, Lisa Zeiss, former NCAA champion, Michelle Dussert, silver medalist for the 84 Olympic Games. Oh, double pike, put your hands down. Front tuck, river granny, or a front with a half twist. This team's going to be ready and qualify for nationals.
Kathy, it looks like the young ladies are having so much fun. I know you competed at the elite level for a long time. Did you miss not getting a chance to compete at a college level like this?
Well, I competed for a little bit at college level, so I got a taste of it, and it is a lot of fun. There's nothing better than contributing to a team effort. But we didn't quite rock and roll like they do now. So I think this would have been a lot of fun. Good routine, just problems on that first tumbling run. She performed a pike double back somersault. It was a little short on the rotation, so she had to put her hands down. Of course, that's a fall.
It seemed like a few years ago that if a young lady wasn't competing in elite gymnastics, college gymnastics was quite a step down, but it's gotten quite good, and the level of difficulty has gotten quite good.
Every year, Bart, it gets better and better. The level of difficulty rises, and the level of competition.
That concludes women's competition. And men's competition, please move to your last stand.
The good thing about Michelle, she's very clean. Even if she's doing the simplest of skills, she tries to do it perfectly. Toes pointed, legs straight. And a nice double twist.
So strong all the way around for Michelle Cullivan. She gets a 9.15 for ASU. Of course, the problems coming early. That was a major deduction in her first tumbling run. So we'll come back with the final results in the women's team event here at the Southwest Cup when we come back.
Fight Capital.
to the Southwest Cup. Here's the final team standings in the women's competition. Arizona State, on the strength of the beam and the floor exercise, clinched the title over Utah State by about 1.5 points. Cal State Fullerton was third and Stanford in fourth. The men's standings after 5 rotations, we're in our final rotation. Congratulations are in order for Arizona State University, 188-9 over Utah State. Cal State Fullerton was third and Stanford finished in fourth. In the women's all-around competition, freshman sensation Christine Belotti won the all-around with 38-35 over Stacy Folks from Cal State Fullerton and Carrie Kanuka from Stanford with a 37-9. Kathy Johnson is with head coach of Arizona State, John Sweeney, and the freshman sensation Christine Belotti right now. Kathy?
Coach Sweeney, another close competition, at least for the first 2 rounds, but ASU really came on strong on balance beam and floor exercise. Have you been training that type of pressure situation for beam?
I think we have a great beam team and a great beam coach with Lisa Zeiss handling our beam program. And yes, we train a lot of beam every day, and we train floor every day very hard, and selling and personality. So we were ready to go to our stronger events.
Last year, just missed making nationals, the first time in quite a while. This year going to be any different?
Well, we hope to be in that top 5 this year. That's my goal, is to take this team, get in the top 5. But all of a sudden, we've been very consistent, and the kids are starting to come on to start thinking as a coach, contender. But you take one meet at a time, and you keep your kids healthy. And I'm real happy with the enthusiasm of this team.
Well, talk about someone coming on. Freshman Christine, you did an excellent job. Tell us how different it is competing at the collegiate level. You just came off competing at the elite level. Is it any different?
Oh, it's a lot different. I mean, we're such a team. We're together, and we're one. It's not an individual sport anymore, and it's a lot more fun, and it takes a lot of pressure off, and I really like it.
You excited about hopefully qualifying for nationals and competing there?
Oh, yeah, I'm very excited. I can't wait. I would love to get out there and compete, and that's what I work hard for.
Well, congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Back to you, Bart.
Thank you, Kathy, and congratulations to Christine Belotti, all-around champion, and John Sweeney, head coach of ASU. We'll be back with some final thoughts.